alley. Like, it seems like every other night he's threatening to slap the shit out of Charles Barkley. As a matter of fact, JaVale McGee's mama made mention of that as well. Or Shaq's mama made mention of that. How, like, every night on this show that they're on, him and Kenny Smith and Charles Barkley, they always, throw out veiled threats to each other. Like, I'm going to slap you, I'm going to do this, that, and the other. But they don't mean it literally. And so she's trying to say when Shaq said that on Twitter, that's what he meant. He didn't mean it literally. I don't know. It sounded kind of literal to me. Very interesting story, man. What are your thoughts on that? 404-382-0338. Very weird story. Very weird story. You're talking about grown-ass men. Shaq's got a kid about to go to college. I'm sure JaVale McGee got a couple of head of churn or whatever as well. Very, very strange. Very strange story. Let me read some messages in the chat room on Spreaker.com. From Tiffany Sports and Heels. Hey, Tiffany Sports and Heels. She says, Doug, have you seen The Color Purple? I have never seen the movie Color Purple. Where you been at, Tiffany? We've talked about this before. And let me tell you why I've never seen the movie Color Purple. There's a couple of excuses I got and reasons I got. One, when the movie first came out, for some reason, I don't know if I'm wrong or right, but I depicted this movie to be kind of like, what's the term they use? I depicted this film to be Color Purple. I thought it was going to be like a chick flick, okay? And I don't do well with chick flicks. Okay, so maybe it's not a chick flick. Maybe I read the whole thing wrong, but I don't do chick flicks like that. I just don't do it. So maybe I'm wrong, and maybe it was a lot more to it, and clearly there was a lot more to it. So I kept saying to myself that at some point I'm going to watch it, and then a month passed by, and then a year passed by, and then 15 years passed by. So now 15, 20 years pass by, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. Oh, and by the way, I'm not a fan of Oprah Winfrey, bashing men all of the time back during that era, too, when that movie came out. So 15, 20 years pass by, and now, instead of going back and watching an old movie that's shot in an old way and, in the back of my mind is a chick flick, I mean, there's a new movie that I can watch as opposed to watching The Color Purple. And so I just hadn't gotten around to it. I'm going to see it one day. I'm going to see it one day. So what are you saying? I'm a bad person? What, you're saying that I lose my black card because I've never seen Color Purple? I've seen 99.9% of the best black movies ever made, and I haven't seen one Color Purple, and you mad? Safe to say, man, ain't nobody listening to this show right now and has seen more movies, great movies, and especially black-based movies than me. Nobody listening to this show. From One Chance, Doug steering clear of controversy with these moonlight comments. Smart Ninja Smart. It's not that I'm scared of controversy, man, but, because I'm not such a fan of it, and I feel kind of like I should try to support black film, that I don't want to down it to the point where I don't want you to go out and see it and spend money on it. And the producers and the directors and the actors not benefit, So, if a movie, a lot of times also, I'll go out and see a film, or I tell people to go see a film, because a lot of times you see a film that Hollywood is killing and it's actually very good. I mean, I've seen many movies that way where Hollywood's killing it. Once again, you got to be very artsy or whatever to judge these movies if you're in Hollywood. And I thought the movie was fantastic. And there's been a lot of movies, man, that should have gotten a lot more acclaim. I mentioned Malcolm X earlier. Man, Malcolm X might be one of the top 2 or 3 movies I've ever seen in my life. Malcolm X, I'm pretty sure, didn't come close to winning no damn Best Picture of the Year. And that's a travesty. Yeah. From Tiffany Sports and Heels again. Doug, if you haven't seen Color Purple, your argument is irrelevant. I don't know what the hell that means. From Sin, watch Color Purple, Doug, a movie guy that hadn't seen The Color Purple. Oh, that's what y'all are saying. Okay. So y'all saying y'all devalue my opinion because I haven't seen Color Purple? That's fine. Okay. That's fine. From Tiffany Sports Heels, Doug, if you haven't seen Color Purple, your argument is irrelevant. It looks like she's posted that several times. From Rough Buff X Squad, there has been an agenda on Black America by Hollywood from day one. Roots, Good Times. He has number 1, Roots. Number 2, Good Times. When they killed James, why they called it Good Times when they were always struggling. And Dukes of Hazzard. And little ninjas like myself cheering for Dukes while they rode around town with a big-ass Confederate flag on their cars. It's a very good point. Like, there's an agenda being pushed. And Rough Buff made a good point. I always talk about it when I was a kid, man. Me and my brother, we lived and died by seeing the Dukes of Hazzard, you know. And I tell the story how at one point in watching that TV show, my old man was in the living room with us and the show came on. He's sitting there, you know, smoking a cigar, smoking a cigarette and got a little shot of vodka right by him or whatever. And he's like, y'all love this show, huh? Yeah, we love this show, Daddy. This show's the greatest. Yeehaw! You know that them people in that show don't like y'all, right? What do you mean, Dad? What do you mean? Yeah, never mind. You'll understand later. Rough Buff goes on to say, and every time they cast a Cleopatra movie, she is played by a white woman. Crazy. You can even say the same thing about 90, or not even 90%, pretty much all the movies when they talk about Jesus Christ. It's always depicted by a dude look like he from in Nebraska. Right. So, yeah, I mean, that's what Hollywood does. They push an agenda. It's clear. It's not even up for debate, I think. They clearly push an agenda, a very, very, very liberal agenda a lot of times as well. And so it is what it is, man. But very good point, Rough Buff. From J Fish Microwave, me too, Thorny. I also feel a little dumber after hearing all of that. From Sydney Wind and Fire Jackson, I was watching Walking Dead. I've never watched the Oscars before. Most of those movies are boring garbage. From Uncle Mike in the chat room on Spreaker.com. Yeah, Nicki's Hood Pass got snatched like a gold chain in 1987. Yeah. I've heard that track by Remy Ma just absolutely crucifying Nicki Minaj. That's real hip-hop. Yeah. That's real hip-hop. That's real hip-hop. I mean, damn. I mean, she went and what's the song called? Sheether? I guess it's kind of play on Ether with Nas and Jay-Z going back and forth. But, yeah, it's called Sheether. If you haven't heard it, man, she goes on. It's almost like The Message. Like, that thing goes on for like 10, 15 minutes. She goes ham on Nicki Minaj. Remy Ma is nice like that. I mean, she can rhyme. She got skills. From Rough Buff in the chat room, Ninja is bloopers and JaVale is the star. Shaq always clowning him, and now it's spilled over to Twitter. Yeah, he has. From Derek, yo, Doug, you seriously haven't seen The Color Purple? I have never seen The Color Purple. I don't think I've even seen a minute of The Color Purple. From T-Dub, he says, well, when you're acting childish, your mom should step in if you're a grown man clowning this dude's brand over and over. I see both sides of the argument. Like, if it's excessive, and I guess you could, if you ask JaVale McGee, Like, listen, I can't even start. If you don't know the background on this story, and you don't know, how Shaq has for years just went at JaVale McGee, you may not understand. So from JaVale McGee's perspective, I guess you could say, dude just won't let it go. He won't let it die. He keeps on pushing me and pushing me and pushing me. And so at some point I got to say something. But I don't think that what Shaq said before was malicious. There's a difference between clowning somebody, and you being an easy target to being malicious. And I don't remember Shaq ever, it's kind of like a theme. It's almost like, you remember on, what was the name of that TV show, South Park? You remember there was a theme on South Park where at the very end they said, oh, you killed Kenny. And it happened every episode. It was just routine. It was part of the storyline. Like Shaq going at JaVale McGee over the last 3, 4, 5, 6 years is just what Shaq does. Right. I don't think that it's ever been malicious, though. There's a difference. If he was malicious, and calling this man out of his name or something like that, then I would understand. But I don't remember it ever being malicious until JaVale McGee made this comment about Shaq being a coon. I don't. And now you can correct me if you're more in tune with the story or whatever. But yeah, I never took it as being malicious. From who do we got here? From Tiffany Sports and Heels once again. Did JaVale call him a coon, or did he just post a pic of cooning dancers and reference Shaq? I'm not sure. From Kania Small, Beyond and Shaq has had some coonish moments, but let dude live. There are a lot of Shaqton fools out there, maybe once a season, but not every year, all season. Once again, I don't know the degree that Shaq has been going to this guy. Usually, and I really wasn't a guy that watched this Shaqton a fool a lot, usually I'll see the comments. Somebody will post it on social media by itself. Like, it's kind of like they'll take a clip, somebody on social media take a clip, and you'll see it secondhand what Shaq said about JaVale McGee on social media. So I'm not like a guy that faithfully tuned into the show. So maybe Shaq has been malicious with it. I don't get that. I've never gotten that before. From Sydney Wind and Fire Jackson, Whitlock stays with the white hand up his ass, as in puppet. I bet Whitlock has a giant mural of Ronald Reagan in his house. Probably does. Yeah. I mean, Jason Whitlock is the worst. And then he had the nerve to try to come after me because I called him out on some shit. I'm not going to get back into that story. But yeah, bruh. I did call you a coon. You're probably the most glaring example of a coon that there is. Yeah. I hate to even, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, I hate to even, say Jason Whitlock's name. I don't want to give him any ratings at all. I tried not to even say his name. And y'all know that. Yeah. From ducking and dodging, Shaq was threatening him because JaVale didn't want to put up with his ish anymore. Real weak. Now, if you did a celebrity death match like they used to have back in the day, if you had a celebrity death match like you used to have back in the day on TV, that show, that's a tough one to pick because JaVale McGee is a super athlete. Jump out of the gym. I mean, he's 7 foot something himself. Shaq's probably got the more, ruthlessness in him, clearly. But Shaq's a little bit older. I think he's like 15 years older than JaVale McGee. I don't know. Over and under Shaq in a second round knockout? Huh? Where you putting your money? Interesting. Entertainment coming up next. The Doug Stewart Show.
That's what she is. That one ain't red, but it cool with me though, He Heels on. Just wear tennis shoes sometime. Probably cut the rag.
Yeah.
I like it though, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.